Are you still working on that, on updating the book?
I am. Yeah, so I've gotten through domain 6, so I've just got 7 and 8. So I'll be able to get through those should be able to do it by this weekend. And then next week I'll spend updating my content.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Because I want to get the audio, so I want to make sure that you're updating everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've been wanting to make some minor updates anyway, so this just facilitates that and gives me the opportunity. So
okay.
Not much sleep this week, probably not much next week, but we'll get it done. All right, I've got 9:01. Let's go ahead and get started. I think I see a couple new names, and I think I heard a beep, so we may have some folks who called in and not necessarily joined the go-to meeting session. But if you're new, we'll read the question. Just don't blurt out the answer, but let us know when you're ready, and then I'll say go for it, and anyone can announce. We'll do 25 practice questions and see how we do. All right, question number 1. The number of rows in a relation is referred to as the number of rows in a relation is referred to as.
I'm ready.
This was a new one for us. Did somebody say they were ready? Go for it.
Yes. Alpha.
Cardinality. Yeah, that's a new one for me. Anyone else have any input on this one?
Oh, something to do with databases?
Yeah. Let's see, the number of rows in a relation. I know that the way that you relate two tables together is through use of the foreign key. But this cardinality, I would definitely throw out depth and breadth. And then I'd have to choose between alpha and delta. I think I'll go with your selection of alpha here. We'll see how they explain it at the end. All right, number 2, writing company security policy is what type of control? This is a layup.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Go for it.
C.
Charlie, alpha. I mean, administrative. Yeah, this is one of those layup questions that we can't get wrong on the exam. Number 3, at which phase of the system development lifecycle is it most important for security to be considered? Yeah, we've seen this one quite a few times. Another layup.
I'm ready.
And that's
Go
30.
Delta.
D.
Delta. Initiation as early in the life cycle as possible. Number 4, what is the difference between configuration management and change management? Yeah, we've seen this before as well. It's been a while though.
I'm ready.
All right, go for it.
Alpha.
I concur. Anyone disagree? Yeah, when I think of that word configuration, I think of actually configuring settings on an operating system or database or a networking component. And then change management is just managing any type of change, whether it's a system or document within your organization. All right, number 5, what does it mean when computers communicate logically and physically with each other? This is a new one for us.
Good.
Yep, go for it.
C.
Charlie. That's what I'm thinking. They speak physically when connected to a backbone network and logically when they speak to each other within the same LAN. So you can physically connect the topology a certain way, but then logically have data travel across that physical backbone in different ways. Number 6, which of the following tunneling protocol would be used if tunneled communication needed to take place over IPX, ATM, or frame relay? Yeah, this looks like some information I'll need to add to my muscle memory chart for my OSI model. Any takers on this one? All
I'm
right.
guessing so, Charlie.
Yeah,
Yes, me too.
yeah, that was going to be my guess also.
Yeah.
Just because it's a bit of an outlier. PPTP, L2TP, those are very similar. And then I think PPP might be a red herring. But yeah, let's see how we do here. Number 7, which of the following defines a proper sequence of steps of a data classification program? I think we've seen this one before. We got it wrong last time.
Ready.
All right, anyone else?
I'm ready.
Okay, go for it.
C.
Bravo or Delta?
I said Bravo.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah, this is what I recall. Define the classification levels, specify the classification criteria, and identify the data owners who will be responsible for determining classification of the data. Number 8, a blank is a prolonged power supply that is below normal voltage. Prolonged low voltage.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Yep, this is a layup. Go for it.
Mhm.
Gonna go with Alpha.
Alpha, brown out.
Mhm.
Brownout is prolonged. Blackout is short term. Surge and faults are not low voltage, they're high voltage. Number 9, which of the following should be done upon the hiring of a personnel? Or what should be done upon the hiring of personnel?
Ready.
Ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, go for it.
Bravo.
Bravo.
I
Yeah,
concur.
yeah, I'm thinking that too. A couple of these look good also, but I think that one will be most important. Or more important than the others. All right, number 10, which of the following provides the correct characteristic for the specific data backup type? Okay.
Mm.
Now I know that the incremental backups use the archive bit. That's how they know that information has changed and that it needs to be Either it's changed or it's new and it needs to be backed up. It's through use of the archive bit that incremental backups are possible. Although Bravo, I think, is correct. Differential process backups the files that have been modified since the last full backup.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
Yeah, bro.
What's the difference between Alpha and Bravo? I can't seem to see the difference.
yeah, Alpha just says the last backup.
Oh, I see.
Now differential, you like if you did a full backup on Monday, on Tuesday it would do the differential for anything that changed since that full backup. On Wednesday it would do any changes of that day since that last differential, really, because it's going to be all the changes since that full backup, but it's really going to, I'm not sure it's since the last full backup.
Yeah, I'm gonna say alpha on this one.
What about Charlie? You don't like Charlie?
I think Alpha.
It sets it to 1. Oh, it sets it to 0. Oh, that could be wrong.
Yeah, it sets it to 1 to let it
1,
know
that's right.
that information has been changed or added. And then
Yeah, that's right.
actually, everything I've read just says it sets the archive bit and then clears it.
I think Charlie is the correct one.
Yeah, we're back and forth.
Let's
Actually,
just choose
I'm
all the
going to
answers.
say B. I'm going to say Bravo.
I'm going Bravo also.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
All over the place on this one.
Bravo.
All right, you guys are saying Bravo. I'm thinking Charlie. We'll see. All right, number 11. Which of the following best describes a centralized repository of information about data, such as meaning, relationships to other data, origin, usage, and format? This is a layup.
I'm ready.
Go for
Bravo.
I'm ready.
it.
Ready.
All right, yep, go for it.
I think Delta.
Delta.
Yeah, I'm going for Delta.
I think we've seen this one before, and we originally, it's data about data is metadata, but this is talking about the repository of this information, and I recall it was a data dictionary.
All right.
But yeah, we'll confirm that on the back end, but I'm pretty sure about that one. All right, number 12, what are the purposes of attribute value pairs and how do they differ between radius and diameter? So diameter replaced radius. Diameter uses TCP, radius uses UDP. Actually, I think we've seen this one before. You guys ready?
Yes, I am.
Go for it.
Charlie.
All right. Anyone else?
I concur.
All right. I recall seeing this one before, and it was alpha. It says that AVPs are the constructs that outline how two entities will communicate, and the more AVPs means that protocol has more capabilities, and diameter replaced radius and does definitely have more capabilities than radius. So diameter has more AVPs. I'll take the hit if I'm wrong. Pretty sure about that one too, though. All right, 13. Bob is a hacker who intends to use social engineering strategies to infiltrate a former employer. After doing thorough research, he begins calling the customer service line to find the weakest representatives to attack. He calls over and over again, trying to talk to many different representatives. What phase of this social engineering attack is Bob involved in? Yeah, we've seen this one before too. And I think we chose what looks like the obvious answer and we were wrong. Anyone? All right, yeah.
Just because I would say B, target.
Yes.
Is he trying to look
I
for a
concur.
certain person?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I think we chose intelligence gathering, but he is targeting. Or target selection is the phase he's in. All right, 14. What is the biggest challenge for network-based data leak prevention? NDLP. We've seen this one several times.
Ready?
Go for it.
Alpha.
Anyone else?
I'm going with Bravo.
Oh, Bravo. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it is Bravo. Mobile devices may leave the premises. One of the biggest challenges that you've got a network-based data leak prevention tool that can prevent data from leaking, but if you bring mobile devices in, you can circumvent that. Number 15, companies that practice separation of duties force 2 or more employees to carry out blank in order to carry out fraud. This is a layup.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Bravo.
Bravo. Collusion. Collusion is something you want to create situations where collusion is required. Not that collusion is a good thing, but most of the time, folks that are going to commit fraud, they're not going to go and talk to an employee and tell them what they're going to do and ask them to join them on it. They're going to do it by themselves. So if you create situations where a critical process has to be done by different people, that whole process can't be done by one person, then you're creating a situation where collusion between 2 or more people would be required. And that is what we want. Number 16, the term clearance is most often associated with which of the following? We haven't seen this one before, but I think it's pretty straightforward.
I'm ready.
All right, go for it.
Charlie?
Yes.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking. Anyone else?
Yes.
All right.
I agree.
17, a software analysis investigation would examine all of the following except.
I think I'm ready.
Okay, go for it.
I would guess A.
Yes.
Actually, we've seen this one before, and we did choose A, but it was wrong. Anybody else?
Logs.
Bravo?
It's actually Delta network logs. So software analysis, we're analyzing an application or a software product, not network.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, number 18, which of the following refers to the assessment of a system by someone with full knowledge of how it was designed or implemented?
Ready.
Layup. Go for
Ready?
it.
Alpha.
Alpha, white box testing. One of the easiest layups we can possibly get. Number 19, the Kerberos technology has some issues that need to be understood before implementation. Which of the following are issues pertaining to Kerberos? Okay, anybody ready?
I'm ready.
Go for it.
Say Charlie.
I concur.
So with number 3 here, the fact that they say secret keys, that implies symmetric cryptography, which is what Kerberos uses. Does it also use session keys? My understanding is that it uses tickets. Huh.
Okay. I'm going for B.
Yeah, I actually want to go 1, 2, and 3, but that's not an option. So I think I'm going to go with you guys on all 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. But I'm not sure about this one. So yeah, we'll see on the back end. All right, number 20, choose the following answer that has the correct definitions for false rejection rate and false acceptance rate.
I'm ready.
All right, go for it.
Alpha.
Anyone else?
I think Delta.
Yeah, I'm going with Femi. I think it's Delta.
Yeah, I agree. The first one we have to consider is when an authorized user who, say for thumbprint biometric system, has registered their thumbprint and should have access, and the thumbprint reader, the crossover error rate is so sensitive that they didn't hold it perfectly right and it doesn't let them in. That's a type 1 error. The false acceptance, or excuse me, the false rejection rate. Someone was rejected falsely. They should have been accepted. And then the second type 2 error is a false acceptance rate when someone who's not authorized puts their thumbprint on there and it allows them in. Type 2 error is definitely more serious. Type 1 is just a nuisance to the people that should have access, but type 2 means that somebody could get in that shouldn't be there. So, yep, we'll go with Delta here. 21, a company needs to determine its security budget for the next year. It interviews users, administrators, and managers in the information technology division who render opinions and recommendations based upon their perspective of security risk. This is an example of what kind of approach to risk analysis. This is a layup.
Ready.
Go for it.
I'm ready.
Alpha.
Alpha, qualitative. subjective reasoning, subjective opinion. You get the subject matter experts in and get their take on things. Number 22, the reference monitor ensures what? All right, yeah, I think if you've gone through our course material, the CyberSecStudy material, or gone through one of our boot camps, this should be a layup.
I think I'm ready.
All right, go for it.
I think it's alpha.
Okay, anyone?
I concur.
Yeah, same here. So the security kernel is a part of the trusted computing base, and the security kernel enforces that reference monitor concept by allowing only certain subjects to access objects based on authorization. All right, this thing is not, there we go. All right, number 23. Alice has been tasked with assessing her company's security awareness program. Her company has hired a third party to perform social engineering testing as part of a broader penetration testing regimen once a quarter. The contractor provides quantitative details as to the percentage of employees who click a potentially malicious link in an email designed to attempt to deceive them. Tracking and comparing this performance indicator over time is best described by which of the following terms? Tracking and comparing performance indicators. Yeah, this is a new one for us, but I think I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm
Go
ready.
for it.
Let's go with Charlie.
Charlie.
Yes.
Anyone else?
Mhm.
All right, security
I
metric.
concur.
Awesome. Here we go. 24. Which of the following terms describes session layer communication that can work in both directions, but with only one of the applications sending information at any given time? Yeah, this is a new one for us, but we do talk about this in our material. Anyone ready?
Mhm. Yes.
All right, go for it.
Frank Delta.
Anyone else?
I say Charlie.
Yeah, that's what I'm leaning towards. Anyone feel differently? Yeah.
I'm feeling Charlie.
Yeah, duplex means that both can communicate, but because only one can communicate at a time, that's half duplex. If both could communicate and they could either communicate at the same time, then that would be full. All right, last one, number 25. With respect to data loss prevention, what term describes the ability to recover or to quickly recover from a crisis and to avoid catastrophe, even in the face of an ongoing breach? Yeah, we've seen this one before too. If you know the dictionary definition of these terms, you don't need to understand the technology. Anyone?
Ready.
Go for it.
Charlie.
Charlie. Anyone else? Yep, DLP resiliency, the ability to avoid a catastrophe or recover from a crisis and avoid a catastrophe, even in the face of ongoing breach. All right, let's see how we did here. I need 2, so we got what? 1 wrong. We got 2 wrong. Yeah, okay. We'll see which ones we got wrong. Okay, number 1, the number of rows in the relation is referred to as the cardinality, and the number of columns is the degree. Wow, I have not heard those terms before. Administrative controls are management driven. That's a layup. It's most important for security to be built into the entire system development lifecycle. Build it in as soon as possible. Change management is a business process. Configuration management is an operational process. Wow. Okay, so what does it mean when computers communicate logically and physically with each other? They're saying the correct answer is they speak physically through electrons and network cables and logically through layers in the OSI model. Okay. Let's see here. Systems, of course, communicate physically using network cables or airwaves, but they also communicate logically. All right. Oh, wow. L2TP. So this one was, which of the following tunneling protocols would be used if tunnel communication needed to take place over IPX, ATM, and frame relay? So it says L2TP can tunnel through networks that incorporate many types of protocols, such as X.25, ATM, frame relay. Point-to-point or PPTP and IPsec can only work over IP-based networks. Okay. L2TP does not provide any encryption and must be combined with IPsec if this type of protection is needed. I did not know that. All right, number 7. Yeah, the classification scheme must first be determined and then communicated to the data owners/creators to follow. A prolonged power supply that is below normal voltage is a brownout. All personnel should sign a non-disclosure agreement upon coming to work for a company. This is the most effective way of protecting your intellectual property. Number 10. Okay, so a differential process backs up the files that have been modified since the last full backup. When the data need to be restored, the full backup is laid down first, and then the most recent differential backup is put down on top of it. The differential process does not change the archive bit value. An incremental process backs up all the files that have been changed since the last full or incremental backup and sets the archive bit to 0. Okay. Yeah, I had only heard that it sets the archive bit and then clears it, not 1 or 0. So differential since the last full backup, I have exception with that because you are going to be doing differentials. Although at the end of if you had lost some data, you'd only recover the full backup and then the latest differential. But it's key to know here that it's through use of the archive bit that incremental backups are possible. You set the archive bit to 0 means that a new file was created or an existing file was modified and therefore needs to be backed up. A data dictionary or a metadata repository is a centralized repository of information about data. Data about data. AVPs are constructs that outline how communication will take place between communicating entities. The more AVPs that are present in a protocol, the more functionality and capabilities that protocol has. Diameter has more capabilities than radius. Number 13, this was a target selection, social engineering. The biggest challenge to network-based data leak prevention is mobile devices. Collusion is two or more people working together to carry out a crime or fraudulent activity. That's not a good thing, but we want to force situations that require that. By separating critical job functions, companies effectively force employees to have to work together to commit fraud. The chance of this happening are far less than one person deciding on her own to commit fraud. Number 16, subjects are typically users, which are assigned clearance levels. The other answers are terms that are typically associated with objects. A capability table would be bound to subjects. An access control list would be bound to objects. Yeah, number 17, network logs would be examined as part of a network analysis, not a software analysis. White box testing is when you have information. Oh, we got this one right. I think that was you, Derek. So all four of these are correct about Kerberos. False acceptance rate is a type 2 error and is when an imposter is authorized or authenticated. An imposter should not be authenticated. False rejection rate is a type 1 error and is when a user who should be authenticated is rejected. So a type 2 error is the most dangerous. These errors are used to measure the accuracy of a biometric system. The crossover error rate is what you use to tune those in. Qualitative approach risk analysis is based on judgments, intuition, and experience. And 22, the reference monitor is an abstract machine that contains the system's access control security policy. The security kernel enforces the reference monitor and its configurations. Subjects cannot directly access objects without the security kernel and reference monitor allowing it. And that security kernel is a part of the trusted computing base. Security metrics are derived values generated by comparing multiple measurements against each other over time, and extremely useful tools for assessing the effectiveness of countermeasures, such as the Security Awareness Program in this example. At half, dash, and full simplex do not exist, and full duplex is concurrently bidirectional. I always think of if you call someone on a telephone, then both can communicate at the same time. Whereas if you communicate with someone on a walkie-talkie, you both can communicate, but only one at a time. So that's half duplex. And then number 25, to maintain DLP, data loss prevention, operations during a breach, and to ensure that the situation is controlled and does not devolve into a catastrophic failure, a security program must assume such conditions may occur and provide for resiliency. All right, not too bad. Any questions or comments from anyone?
Nope, thanks.
All right.
Nope.
That's it. Take care,
Thank
guys.
All right, thanks, Don.
Yep.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.